Well, hello and welcome. My name is Tiffany Barron. I am the president of the Chairman's Club. We've created a lesson that is so important, we wanted anyone and everyone to have it. Anyone that's interested, we wanted to make it available to them. That's how important it is, and it's called MAP and Masterminding. Now, masterminding is actually an activity that has made an enormous difference in my life. You see, I went through school, graduated as an engineer, took a position in corporate America, and for years followed their rules. Then one day I quit and moved into an entrepreneurial world. And let me tell you, talk about big change, this was huge. Well, shortly after, it was suggested by a friend that I become a member of a mastermind group. And well, let me tell you, I instantly had help that I could not put a price on it. It was invaluable. Now, I had been doing the masterminding. I had been doing that for a few years when I took over as president of the Chairman's Club, and that's when I immediately insisted that masterminding be a part of it. And that is why the Chairman's Club will very quickly stand out in your mind as an incredible organization unlike any other you have ever been associated with. Now, whether you ever are a member of the Chairman's Club or not, this is something that you can benefit from, and I want you to. That is why I am sharing this with all of you. It is called MAP and Masterminding. MAP is an acronym for Monthly Accountability Plan. Accountability is an important priority in the life of truly successful individuals. In fact, accountability to success is like carbon to steel. You cannot have one without the other. Now, the importance of accountability becomes multiplied when you are a member of the Chairman's Club. And that's because the change in behavior that is required to take advantage of the multiple opportunities that you face is so great. And the paradigm attempting to prevent you from making the necessary change is so strong that without self-discipline, that without ongoing accountability, you would miss the good that you are seeking. So masterminding is very important, and it is especially important as a member of the Chairman's Club. Now listen to this. This is Napoleon Hill, and he said, if you analyze the record of any person who has accumulated a great fortune, and many of those who have accumulated modest fortunes, you will find that they have either consciously or unconsciously employed the mastermind principles. Great power can be accumulated through no other principle. Now we have Andrew Carnegie, who was Napoleon's Hill mentor, and he said this: the accumulation of great fortunes calls for power. And power is acquired through highly organized and intelligently directed specialized knowledge. But that knowledge does not necessarily have to be in the possession of the person who accumulates the fortune. You see, Andrew Carnegie is talking about masterminding here. Now think about this for a moment. You might originate a good idea. However, the intelligence and experience of the other members in your mastermind group might be what you need in order to turn your idea into a source of wealth. And the first time this happens, you will experience the tremendous power of masterminding. So we've created the concept called MAP, and we married it with masterminding to assist you in triumphing over the struggle that is caused by paradigms. It is important for you to understand that all of this is largely dependent upon your commitment to masterminding, to working in harmony with the law of cooperation, and to the degree of importance you place upon self-discipline. Now, masterminding and accountability is something that Bob Proctor taught to me, and it has changed my life like night and day, and I have now asked Bob Proctor to teach it to all of you. Bob Proctor.
Thank you, Tiffany. This concept is one of the most valuable things I have ever learned. And as you start to study it, as far back in history as you can go, you're going to find mastermind groups. What we're going to cover here are the guidelines. There are 10 of them. And the principles. There are 7 of them. Then there's a dedication and covenant. And then we have an accountability agreement. Let's take a look at these guidelines. I cannot impress upon your mind the importance of this, and keep this in mind. If you are not already in a mastermind group that you discipline yourself to really support regularly, weekly if possible, then you're not in the habit of doing it. And if you're going to do this and do it properly, you're going to have to form the habit of doing it. Now, all of your time is accounted for, whether you're aware of that or not. You're going to have to give up something that you're already doing for the 1 hour that you're going to put into masterminding. And forming a new habit is not an easy thing to do. You'll say, well, I got lots of free time. You have no free time. You may waste time, but there's no such thing as free time. You can waste time. You can be busy doing things. You're going to have to discipline yourself, and you've got to give this the utmost of importance. Now, when you begin to mastermind, understand this. You're going for what you can contribute to this group. You're not going for what you can get out of it, but what you can contribute to it. Now, you may say, well, I really haven't got anything to contribute. Don't kid yourself. You have all kinds of experience to contribute. You have all kinds of life experience that you can contribute. You have connections that you can contribute. And you'll only be in the group for a very short period of time, and you're going to realize you really do have a lot to contribute. These guidelines and principles are vital. You want to keep them in a place where you can review them. Let's look at the mastermind guidelines. Number 1, your average group works best with 2 to 8 members. No more than 12. Time is the constraint. Number 2, meet regularly, weekly if possible. Meet in a nice, preferably inspirational place if possible. Make sure it's a well-lit restaurant, office, home, library, or church. Have a pre-planned agenda. Number 3, if you are in different cities, the meeting can be conducted on a conference call. Make certain you engage an excellent conference call company. Setting up a series of 3-way calls does not work well. You might save a few pennies, but miss a $1 million opportunity through distractions. Most of the mastermind groups that are taking place through the Chairman's Club or through Life Success are on conference calls, because we have people from over 100 countries that are involved in mastermind groups. We have thousands of mastermind groups going on. Number 4, start the meetings by reading the mastermind principles. This is probably one of the most important points of a call. Every member of the group should read aloud all 7 principles and the dedication and covenant. Number 5, each member should be supported visually, verbally, emotionally by the others. For example, someone wants a new home. Other members might say, I see you driving up to your glorious new home. I see you sunning yourself at poolside with your loved ones, your friends, and me. The principle is that we can believe for others what we cannot fully believe for themselves. These are not idle words. You must create and project to the mastermind a clear vision that the words represent. When you're talking to people, understand you're projecting an image. Words are vibration. You are sending an image to that person. You're sending it right through the medium of the molecule. You may be on the other side of the world. That doesn't make any difference. Stop and think of how television works. They send a picture right through the medium of the molecule. You may be on the other side of the world. That doesn't make any difference. Well, this marvelous mind you've got has an electronic instrument in there that can send and receive. So hold the image of what you're saying. Don't just talk. Number 6, your mastermind call should run like a Swiss watch. Ensure the call is timely. If you committed to a 60-minute call, keep it within that time frame. Mastermind members are generally extremely busy. Time is important. Use it wisely. Each group should select a mastermind leader to keep everything flowing freely. The leadership position can rotate from one member to another. The group leader should be prepared to time each person's participation in the call to ensure that it's kept on track. Have a watch with a second hand or a stopwatch available. This point is extremely important. Do not treat it lightly. And you're starting a group and you decide we're going to run it for 60 minutes. And first call goes for 70 minutes. The next call goes for 90 minutes. Pretty soon it's pushing 2 hours. You know what's going to happen? Somebody that is very particular about their time is just going to drop out of that group. This is for masterminding, bringing your minds together to create big ideas. So stick to the time. Number 7, roll call. The group leader should take a roll call and at that time would assign each person a number. For example, if there are 6 people on the call, each person would have a number from 1 to 6. This numbering system can be used to designate who speaks, when, and should be rotated with each call to ensure one doesn't always speak first. Number 8, good news. Starting with whichever number is designated for that particular call, each person should be allowed 2 minutes to speak about something very positive. They will share their win for the week. This will help in creating the right vibration to get the call started in a very positive direction. Number 9, wants and needs. Again, starting with whichever number has been designated to begin first, each person would have 10 minutes. The group would decide on the length of time in which to state their wants and needs and receive their responses. It might sound like, this is John. This is what I want and this is what I need. Or, this is John. This is a challenge I'm facing and I would appreciate the help of my mastermind group. It's important for everyone to understand that the designated amount of time allotted is both to state their want and need and receive the group's response. Therefore, someone is not prepared for the call and it takes them 3.5 minutes to state what they need. It allows the group only 1/2 minute to respond. Each mastermind member needs to be prepared for the call to ensure maximum benefits. At the end of the 4 minutes, it would be the team leader's responsibility to say, time is up, and the discussion would come to a halt. The second person would be asked to begin. Number 10, depending upon the chosen length of your call, you may decide to leave the room for a free-for-all at the end, at which time anyone and everyone would have a chance to speak. Now, every once in a while, you have somebody that's bitching and griping and moaning and complaining in the group. You want to bring that to a halt. This is not a place to get on and complain about anything. That is not the purpose of it. If you want to complain, go find someone in your family. They'll probably listen to you. All right? Now, mastermind principles. And what we're going to do, I'm going to read these through, and then we're going to go through them once together. I begin every mastermind meeting by reading these mastermind principles. And I want you to think of what it says. I release myself to the mastermind because I am strong when I have others to help me. So you've got to let yourself be a part of this. I believe the combined intelligence of the mastermind creates a wisdom far beyond my own. If I'm working with everybody at this table, there's 8 of us here, I'm going to be much stronger than I'm going to be on my own. That's a given. So we want to understand that. I understand. I will more easily create positive results in my life when I am open to looking at myself, my problems, and opportunities from another's point of view. I decide to release my desire totally in trust to the mastermind, and I am open to accepting new possibilities. Now, this one is key. I forgive. I forgive myself for mistakes I have made. I also forgive others who have hurt me in the past so I can move into the future with a clean slate. Let's suppose one of us has really rubbed the other one the wrong way, and we come on the meeting, and I've got real bad feelings for you, or you do for me. That's going to affect the whole group. Now, I don't even have to talk to Susan, or Susan doesn't even have to talk to me. I forgive, and mentally, I let it go. And so when we come on, then we've got positive energy. Now, this is very important because your energy affects everybody in the group, and everybody's energy affects you. I ask the mastermind to hear what I really want, my goals, my dreams, and my desires. And I hear my mastermind partner supporting me in my fulfillment. I accept. I know, relax, and accept, believing that the working power of the mastermind will respond to my every need. I am grateful for knowing this. You know, just as I'm saying this, it was the mastermind group between Mark Victor Hansen, myself, Val Vanderwall, Jack Canfield, Lee Poulos. That's where the Chicken Soup for the Soul books came from. Mark and Jack earned millions on that, and they never wrote a book. But you see, it was an idea that was intellectual property. And then we ended, dedication and covenant. I now have a covenant in which it is agreed that the mastermind shall supply me with an abundance of all things necessary to live a success-filled and happy life. I dedicate myself to be of maximum service to God and my fellow human beings, to live in a manner that will set the highest example for others to follow, and to remain an open channel of God's will. I go forth with a spirit of enthusiasm, excitement, and expectancy. Now, let's all go through this together. I begin every mastermind meeting by reading these mastermind principles. I release myself to the mastermind because I am strong when I have others to help me. I believe the intelligence of the mastermind creates a wisdom far beyond my own. I understand that I will more easily create positive results in my life when I am open to looking at myself, my problems, and opportunities from another's point of view. I decide to release my desire totally in trust to the mastermind, and I am open to accepting new possibilities. I forgive myself for mistakes I have made. I also forgive others who have hurt me in the past so I can move into the future with a clean slate. I ask the mastermind to hear what I really want, my goals, my dreams, and my desires. And I hear my mastermind partner supporting me in my fulfillment. I accept. I know, relax, and accept, believing that the working power of the mastermind will respond to my every need. I am grateful knowing this is so. Dedication and covenant. I now have a covenant in which it is agreed that the mastermind shall supply me with an abundance of all things necessary to live a success-filled and happy life. I dedicate myself to be of maximum service to God and my fellow human beings, to live in a manner will set the highest example for others to follow and remain an open channel of God's will. I go forth with a spirit of enthusiasm, excitement, and expectancy. Oh, yeah. Isn't that nice? Now, we are not in the habit of doing this. You may be in a mastermind group, but you've never been in this mastermind group before. Therefore, you have never used the time that you're going to be using for this purpose. So you're going to have to make a commitment. You're going to have to be accountable. We have asked our beautiful little attorney in the back of the room to come up with an accountability statement. And she sent one to us, and Tiffany and I looked at it, and we agreed we could have drawn that up ourselves. And we said, we need something with some legalese in this that gives you a bite. And she sent this back, and I believe it is perfect. Accountability closes the gap between intention and results. Now think, if I make a commitment that I'm going to do something, odds are pretty good I'll do it. If I make the commitment and I put it in writing, the odds have increased. If I make it and put it in writing and I sign it and I give it to Susan and I say, I'd like you to hold me accountable. Now, the odds are way up there. They've really gone up. So when you sign your accountability statement, and this will be on the site that anybody can download if you need other copies of it, I want you to look at this as being one of the most binding legal agreements that you have ever signed. This agreement is entered into by and among, let's say, Bob Proctor and Tiffany Barron, accountability partner, this 15th day of December 2008. In consideration of the mutual promises made in this agreement and other valuable consideration, the receipt and sufficiency of which is acknowledged, the parties agree as follow. 1. Participant pledges, agrees, and gives his or her personal promise to perform the action steps identified below by the date specified below and to be accountable to my accountability partner. Participant understands that accountability is a statement of a personal promise, and that accountability is neither shared nor conditional. Number 2, accountability partner accepts the commitment of being the accountability partner and pledges, agrees, and gives his or her personal promise to hold the participant accountable for the achievement of the action steps identified below by the date specified. Number 3, participant understands and agrees that accountability without consequences is meaningless, and further understands that the consequences of failing to perform according to the terms of the agreement is very likely failure to reach the participant's stated goals. My signature below indicates this agreement has been read and understood. The participant and the accountability partner. This is very important that you follow through on this. I am going to ask Ms. Gallagher if she will come up and summarize this particular lesson. And I think we should congratulate Tiffany Barron for putting this together as a gift for everyone and anyone who might like to have it. It will be posted in various places where they can download it and use it, regardless of who they are or what they're doing. You will have it on the site, and if you'd like to download it and give it to friends, feel quite free to do so. Ms. Gallagher.
Well, we have just learned the key to closing the gap between intention and results. These are really powerful tools that we just learned. Let's review the key points. The first one is masterminding. Masterminding and success go hand in hand. Napoleon Hill said that no one has created great wealth or done anything of really, really big importance without masterminding. So masterminding is a critical tool. And when you mastermind, you're not thinking about what can I get. You're thinking about what can I give. And that's what brings the power to the mastermind. And then accountability. You can't have success without accountability. It's a critical tool. So in your mastermind group, commit to hold each other accountable. And use both of these tools all of the time. These tools have made a huge difference in my life. They're really, really powerful. So here's the call to action. I'd really like you to do 2 things. Go ahead and get a mastermind group together. A group of like-minded individuals that are all going to work together to help each other get the results that they want. And secondly, hold each other accountable. And really take this accountability agreement seriously. And the key phrases to think about in the midst of this legalese are: understand that accountability is a statement of a personal promise. It's a personal promise that accountability is neither shared nor conditional. Also, as the accountability partner, give your personal promise to hold each other accountable. Really take that seriously. And then as the participant, understand that the consequence of failing to perform according to the terms of this accountability agreement is very likely failure to reach your stated goals. So take the agreement really, really seriously. These are powerful tools. Begin to use them at once, and you'll see the benefit of better and better results. On behalf of Life Success Productions, Tiffany Barron, Bob Proctor, and myself, Sandy Gallagher, would like to thank you for participating in this lesson.